Some things in our lives are better left to our imagination, yet experience grants us a personal understanding we'd rather imagine. Assuming life has been kind to us, let us just take a moment and imagine, or remember. Imagine paying for an education, not because of its quality, but because it's the only way to acquire an education. Imagine our world with more illiterates than literates. Some of us are living in a country with less than 10% unemployment rate. Imagine a country with 80% unemployment rate. That's right, 80% unemployment rate. Some of us also have the luxury of paying for our visits to a doctor many weeks after we've been treated. Our country allows us to worry about the bill after services are rendered. Now imagine not being seen by a physician without payment up front. Let me rephrase this. Imagine having no money yet attempting to get your sick treatment in a country where only patients with upfront payments are seen. Can you imagine that? Those are the circumstances in some countries. Some people like us have the option to choose between non-life-threatening bills, such as a phone bill or a gym membership bill. Other people have different options, choosing between bills for feeding their families or choosing the bills for educating or saving their children. Is that even an option? Imagine the difficulty of these circumstances in a nation without war. Then imagine these circumstances in a country overcoming 14 years of recent civil war. Liberia is one of those countries. Many of us know very little about Liberia. For instance, Liberia was the only African country colonized by the United States of America. Liberia is also the first independent nation in Africa and was a founding member of the United Nations. This country has been in agreement with many Western countries and international organizations in terms of freedom, human rights, democracy, and even its constitution, yet it is still one of the poorest countries in the world. This country has also been open to helping others. Liberia advocated for the end of apartheid in South Africa, helped the USA during World War II with refueling land space, and accepted freed slaves from the West who wanted to return to Africa. In fact, 12 out of Liberia's first 24 presidents were Americans. Currently, Liberia has Africa's first female president. An example of an open-minded and acceptable society outside of the Western world has never happened in Africa. But this unique and vibrant country has several challenges. 14 years of war produced 14 years of lost lives, lost infrastructure, lost education, and lost progress. Though Liberia is now free from war, there's still a long road to recovery. Of the country's 3.8 million people, more than half are under the age of 18. According to the United Nations, the vast majority of Liberians, 85% of them, live below the poverty line, and only 15 to 20% are formally employed. According to Gallup, only 4% of homes in Liberia have electricity. 95% of the country's healthcare facilities were destroyed during the war. Lack of educational opportunities led to there being only one doctor for every 100,000 people in a country under constant threats of malnutrition, malaria, and tuberculosis. Let me say that again. The lack of educational opportunities led to there being only one doctor for every 100,000 people in Liberia. This is very alarming. According to UNICEF 2008 findings, the total country's health expenditure in Liberia was $4 per person. Over 40% of the population is illiterate. Schools lack of adequate facilities, trained teachers, and basic resources. There's no free high school in Liberia. Students must pay tuition to attend secondary schools. With minimum resources, families must choose between food for their families or sending their children to school. We're not asking you to solve all of Liberia's challenges. We're simply asking you to join us in making things better by changing the lives of children through your acts of kindness. Youth Empowerment Services of Liberia, or Yes Liberia, is staffed exclusively by global volunteers. Our staff includes both Liberians who went through the Civil War and others like you and I who simply have the passion to make a difference even beyond our national borders. Over the years, Yes Liberia has sent over 4,000 books to schools' reading rooms in Africa and granted 500 students with school supplies in different communities. We've also paid tuition for more than 300 additional students attending 9 different secondary schools. We've drafted and published health club programs for 9 different elementary schools and recently purchased an acre of land for our new public library project. Yes Liberia also recognizes the need for other critical services and is now expanding its reach to include a teacher training program, sanitation and hygiene projects, senior citizens program, and kids' sports and leadership programs. We're also investing in solar lights in specific communities with abject poverty. Those who support us do not focus on why should I help. Instead, our supporters focus on how can I help, because the facts and conditions in Liberia speak volumes. The bottom line is, each of us has gotten some sort of help from someone or some programs along the way. For some of us, it was our parents who helped us. We can only hope the kids we serve had parents capable of helping them. No matter what your condition is, wherever you are today, we hope life has been kind to you. We hope the struggles of people in Liberia could only be imagined and not remembered. We're asking you to join us in making things better by changing the lives of children in Liberia through your acts of kindness. We hope you donate whatever you have, and in doing so, challenge your friends to do the same this week. It is true that we cannot help everyone, but each of us can help someone. Thank you in advance for your support.